hang on. I forgot my ears.
If you got your ears. There's not much left of you if you don't have your ears.
Sorry. Oh man, I felt like Van Gogh there for a second. It's like, blimey, where's my ears?
How's things, my brother?
Look at this. Hitman
Oh, the
down.
Hitman. Oh, so I was looking, and because obviously I'm looking through a screen of a screen because we're recording, but it looked like it said He-Man. I'm like, He-Man? That's what the He-Man said. I was trying to work it out because
That's the Hitman Down Under.
I know.
It's got a cool picture on the back. Hang on.
Okay.
Don't look at my ass too much.
Oh, I always do. Always do. Oh, look at that. That looks quite good, actually.
Was it? No,
Yeah,
I can't see it.
yeah, there you go. There you go. Spot on. You're in the middle. There you go. That's good. Looks
so excited.
Looks.
Well, I went there, and they're like, so I get there, and he's like, I'm like, oh, those t-shirts are cool. Have you got any of those? It's like, I was sold a lot of them, but we've still got a few sizes. It's like, what sizes do you have? Extra small, small, and 5XL.
Thanks.
And I'm like, and that's a few sizes.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And then he's like, yeah, because that's all we've got here at the moment because we sold a whole heap. And then he's like, oh, actually, I've got one XL. I'm like, I will take that one then.
Take that one. Yeah, absolutely. Slam that down. God forbid. Absolutely.
As a 5XL, I would have like covered this entire screen and then went camping with my swag underneath it.
Yeah.
So I think we need to do the intro before we talk about Fall Out because I haven't watched the last episode yet.
Okay.
I've done Jordan.
Okay.
But I think we need to have a rant.
You need. Oh, it sounds good. All right. Okay. Anyway.
No. You know what it is because you sent me this bullshit. It's an abomination to all things childhood.
Right. Well, before we get to that, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Dorks Down Under, the podcast where we discuss everything going on in the dorkdom world. And this week's episode, we are going to be reviewing the brand new Fallout TV series, which has some criticisms, but I'm going to reserve judgment. I'm desperately dying to hear what Dez is going to say. But before we get to that, we are joined by my co-host Dez, all the way over in Australia. Hello, Dez.
What's happening, beautiful people? Lovely to hear you. And as always, Streamlabs has just decided to be a douchebag.
This is Season 3, Episode 13, for those of you who are following along. And apart from that, I've had a bit of a quiet week. Right, one of the things is that I did say last episode that I was going to try and watch this on my favourite totally legal website. I didn't have to because I got a pleasant surprise, Des. Don't you love it when you travel to a hotel, an Airbnb, whatever it is, and you log in on the TV and they have all the apps there, and you're like, oh, okay, I'll just see which ones I've got, which ones someone's left logged in. Someone left themselves logged in on the Netflix, which is great because there's a couple of shows I wanted to catch up on anyway. So I was like, fabulous, great. And of course, I'm going to mess with all the profile pictures because you have to.
The problem is though, you're better off messing with the profile picture. Oh, hang on.
I don't change the names.
Just being a douchebag.
I don't change the names. I just change the icons just for fun.
Yeah, but even then though, the problem with that though is people know you're in there then.
Yeah, I know, but it's great because they don't know where exactly. Because the problem is these people who do it forget to log out, and the problem is they've generally travelled to so many places.
Yeah, that's true too.
That they can't remember. But anyway, there was Amazon Prime. The app was there, and I thought, I'll just check. Because why not? And of course it was fully logged in. I'm like, well,
looks like what I'm doing for the next couple of weeks.
Looks like well, the guy was, I was there for 2 nights, and I thought, well, if I go have dinner now, because my flight got to Nelson late, and I was like, well, if I go for dinner now and then come home with a crate of beer, which is a cheaper night out, let's be honest, and I thought, well, crate of beer, I'll buy myself a chocolate bar as a treat. Was why not? And I thought I'll see how many episodes I can smash out in one night, and I smashed out 5 in the first night before admitting defeat and going to bed at just after midnight. I was like, yeah, okay, all right, I need to go to bed and I'll finish this off tomorrow.
You win this round, Fallout.
I was tempted to stay up, and I would have if the site doesn't start at like 5 a.m. in the morning. If site,
that would have some.
I was like, I need to go to bed. I need some sleep. I've got a very, very busy day at site tomorrow, so I need some form of actual sense in my brain. So,
He
but of
says.
course, while I was having breakfast, of course I was sat there and I was watching an episode while I was waiting for my ride to come and pick me up.
It'd be rude. It'd be rude not to.
It'd be rude not to.
Oh.
So yeah.
So can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I've got you recorded.
Okay, because it does seem that for whatever reason,
Well, Des, we don't have to worry this.
Streamlabs has literally just got rid of my Rhodes mic. So the fact that you can hear me makes me happy.
Yeah, well,
because my Rhodes mics.
We don't have to worry too badly because it's my week's. This is my episode to edit, so don't worry. As long as we've got one.
Yeah, it's just weird because even the like the thing that the thing plugs into, normally it highlights green when you can hear me.
Yeah. Oh well,
and it's not working.
Thank you, Streamlabs. Thank you. Well, blame Streamlabs because it won't be Rhodes. It'll never be Rhodes.
Okay, and now my mic has just completely disappeared. Okay, let's see if that will work.
Have you tried turning it on and off again?
Yeah, I just did. I just undid it and it wouldn't work. It didn't do anything. So now it seems to be coming through multiple times.
So apart from my week's been full of travel and catching up where I can and jumping onto major orders on Helldivers, which has been fun. When I tell you what, when I'm traveling and I don't get 3 days worth of da 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 da, it kills me.
You do those. Sometimes you do miss those games, and I haven't played. What is it? I haven't played Palworld in ages, and it's killing me.
Yeah, well, I assume you'll be on it after this, after you finish it and do your editing and everything else.
Yeah.
But anyway, apart from that was my week. So what about your week? Have you had a good week, sir?
So yeah, I can't complain. So I've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week off because of Anzac Day and whatnot.
Oh, sweet.
Which is always nice. Well, it's Anzac Day the Thursday. Cherish's birthday is the Wednesday, so I normally take that off. And then my boss is like, "Well, why don't you just take that day off as well?" I'm like,
"Sweet, yeah, why not?"
Okay, if I have to, I guess I can.
Well, my wife and child are away, so I'm at home. I'm at home alone, home alone, which means I'm basically going to be smashing out as much video gaming as I want. I'm gonna watch all the horror movies I want.
That's amazing.
I'm gonna have 4 days of horror. Although I already know, being a dad, I know what's gonna happen. Is on the first day, the first couple of hours, I'm gonna be like, yes, I'll do this and do that, and then I'll go to watch a movie and I won't make a decision on what movie I'll watch.
Yeah, I know.
Because there's too much. I have such a list. I have my list on Netflix, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm in the mood for. I already know I'm going to sit there and go, oh, I don't know what to watch, and cry. But yeah. But I have been I am very much looking forward to having some just at least 3 days of solid gaming. Very much looking forward to that. It's going to be sweet. Sweet as.
Why not?
Aye.
It'd be rude not to.
It'd be rude not to.
It's weird. Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird because I don't know what's happening. Streamlabs, you're a bunch of knobs.
All right. Well, beyond that, shall we discuss the latest massive trend? Shall we say?
Oh.
God. Right. Now, I want to say one thing, right? Okay. Bethesda, thank you for hand-holding Amazon and how to do it. This is how a video game should be turned into a live-action series or movie, regardless. It could be either or. But the game studio has to be involved from the offset. The fact is, I found out after the fact that they went to the writers, because the writers were slight fans of the game, and they wrote, oh, we're going to do this, or we're going to mention that, we're going to do this, blah, blah, blah.
I lost you all of a sudden. I keep losing you halfway through sentences. I'm like, it's amazing.
Oh, God's sakes. Jesus. But anyway, so one thing is, Bethesda did this right. The fact is, they went to the writers and said, no, you can't mention this. And they went, why? They went, because we can't allow you. Which obviously means that they've got upcoming plans of a possible new game or a DLC. Yeah. And so the fact is that they've done it the right way, because obviously everyone says, oh, well, it's not as good. Some people say it's not as good as the Halo series, the Halo TV series, which quite frankly is a crock of shite, because the Halo TV series, I was excited for up until, because obviously the teaser trailer for that original first season didn't show Master Chief, showed Master Chief as is, and you're like, yes, let's go. And then at the very first episode, he takes his helmet off. It's like, no, absolutely not, because that's a producer.
It's kind of like... That is kind of like, what was it? What was it? Judge Dredd.
Yes.
Sylvester Stallone, where he takes the thing off. You're like,
No.
Really, bro?
No.
Really?
No, this is the thing, right? Okay. Because obviously what happened is there's a producer for whatever studio, right? Who was producing it, who said, "Oh, but we can't see the talent's face, so we need to address that." And it's like, "No, you don't."
Just leave it alone.
The entire thing about Master Chief is that nobody knows what he looks like, and it's for good reason.
I haven't watched it for that exact reason because I'm like, it's just going to ruin it for me.
I watched it, and I was so disappointed in it. It was like I wanted to watch it just to say, you know what, I'm going to sit here and watch it because maybe, just maybe, it has some redeeming qualities, and it doesn't. In fact, in my opinion, they started off wrong on the wrong episode. They should have started off with the fall of Reach. Just start off on that entire mystery. That's it. We don't need all this background knowledge that nobody knows about before, so that was where it went wrong off the offset anyway. Yeah. But that's the Halo show. But this one, oh my god, yes, did it right. Number one, they picked a vault number that no one knows about. Number one.
Yes, 100%.
Yes. Thank you.
That's one of the good things that they did.
Well, technically it was 3 vaults, but anyway, regardless of...
It works.
Yeah. Did they pick a vault number that nobody had any lore about? Yes, good. Number one, right? Okay, because we don't go messing with all the great... because there are... And let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who haven't played the Fallout series, there are some terrifying vaults.
What is wrong with you?
There are some terrifying vaults. Like, what is it? I think is it Vault 11, where the population had to sacrifice one person a year. Basically, they became overseer for a year, and at the end of their term, they had to die. The entire experiment was to try and make sure that the Vault Dwellers understood the value of human life. And when they finally said, no, we're not going to do it, the message was played saying, congratulations, you put human life above all else. You are going to be ready to build the new world. There was 5 people left out of 150. There was 5.
Jesus. That's the first time ever. It's like you get the biggest job in your whole place, and you're like, "Yeah, I don't want it."
Of which one person left the vault, and the other 4 couldn't live with themselves, and committed.
Well, what's weird though is like you hear about these things like this where people are telling him, but then for whatever reason. When Henry Cavill does it, they're like, "Oh, he's ruining The Witcher. He's making it too hard for everyone." I was like, "No, because he's like the thing. He's trying to stick to the goddamn law."
Well, it's the reason why I know, because as we all know, Henry Cavill is working with Games Workshop. He's going to be producing a TV show. We don't know exactly if it's going to be prime. We don't. I like how they're keeping it very quiet because obviously those of us who are very big Warhammer 40k people want to know details. We want to know, are you doing Primarchs? Because, Primarchs would be good. Then again, quite frankly, you could easily do any of the amazing Guardsman novels, like especially with like Dan Abnett's Gaunt's Ghost. Oh my god. Try again, Bragman. I would pay to watch that series.
If you go to the Primarchs, like I don't know enough about the lore, but I will say, if you go to the Primarchs, there's nowhere else to go other than Emperor. And I feel like if they do that, as much as I would love to see Henry Cavill as some amazing Primarch, I do feel like it would be better as almost like the Bad Bunch or something like that, where they follow this unit as they go on, rather than have the Primarchs. Because once you get to the Primarchs, there's not really much else you can go.
I am in total agreement with you. I want them to do the Guard, not do Space Marines. Have the Space Marines, because it's one of my favourite novels is Gaunt's Ghost one. And it's where they're invading one of the enemy guard bases, and one of the commanders of the ship said, "Oh my god, we got 3 legions because there's 3 different Space Marines."
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh my god, we got 3 separate Space Marine chapters with us." And I went, "No, you get 3." That's how important this mission is. You're getting 3, and it's and they're so good.
I would like to see them do Space Marines, and I would like to see Henry Cavill as Space Marine for the exact reason is that I feel like if they're guardsmen and you have guardsmen and they're fighting Tyranids, they just kind of feel like it's another Starship Troopers.
Yeah, no, but then again, it would I think it's hard to put across a 9 foot tall. Like, you're talking about a Space Marine, which is generally on average 9 feet tall. You're talking about a 9 foot massive genetic bound human. I don't think it'll look quite right. Whereas, and then we start talking about Primarchs, who some Primarchs are double the height of an average Space Marine. So you're talking some of them are 18 feet tall.
But I think
scale just goes out.
We're able to do it in Lord of the Rings with elves and stuff like that. Why not have some of the guardsmen say, like, "We're glad you're here," standing waist height to them?
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Could they shoot it in a way like Lord of the Rings does, with the perspective and everything else? Absolutely, that could work. But no offense, I kind of don't want to see Space Marines. Or if you're going to show Space Marines, like, she could show clips or them turning up on a battlefield and they're just tearing through, whereas the guard is slugging. He's like, what? You know, they're just barely holding the line. But then you got this, like, a squad of 5 Space Marines rocks up and just absolutely shows them how it's done. That's what I kind of, it'll add that human element, in my opinion. But anyway, by the by, we're getting distracted.
Yes.
Going off on a tangent. Fallout, right? Okay. In terms of storytelling, going from the start, the fact is that we get to see how the war starts as well, which is amazing, because that answered a question.
Which is a nice little touch.
Oh, and can we say the fact that Bethesda said, you know what, yeah, you can say this? Because we've all said it. We've always all said it. We always knew who did it, but no, there was never that smoking gun that could agree. Because let's be honest, it could have been the aliens. It could have been. And there are aliens in the Fallout universe. Before anyone starts questioning it, there are aliens in the Fallout universe.
Yeah, I know, I get that too.
And it was a long time belief by some of us. there was a lot of evidence to argue it, but people like to grasp at straws that the aliens started the war.
Yes,
they did not. We now know it's absolutely true. It's not. And spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. One thing
I do like too, though, is that you see the 3 atom bombs. Because obviously in the game, that's the most you can do. I remember one of Food Time's good mates. He ended up being able to monetize his account in 2 days because he was the first person ever to do 2 nukes.
Yeah.
And he obviously put it online and everyone's like, oh my God, and it got so many views, he got subscribers and stuff from it that he ended up being able to monetize his YouTube account. And he's probably released nothing since, or very little since. And I love it. And then at the end, I remember seeing somebody did a 3rd one, and that also went bananas. But that's the most I've seen anybody do. So I think it's good that they left it with those 3 big nukes. It is weird though that they nuked like a nuke will take up however far it is, and they seem to drop them all together.
Well, no, this is the thing. So this is showing a bit of nerdage. And I apologize now.
As opposed to a podcast.
I apologize now, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Because this sounds, even for me, I'm like, oh, why do you know this? So, in the Fallout universe, obviously, technology stagnated in the 1950s because transistors was never invented. That's the reason why you have all the big capacitors and all this jazz with all the lights and stuff, which looks really cool. Let's be honest. It does look cool. But the reason why all the nukes don't do as much as in comparison to Hiroshima and all, what we consider a modern day nuke, is because they didn't have the proper components to produce enough of a blast, which would sort of thing. So these are consider it, their nukes are like low level, low yield. So it's like they are really weak in comparison to what a modern day equivalents are. Yeah, sort of thing. So
because I was like, are they dropping nukes or are they dropping friggin' just like Raptors or was it something?
Yeah,
because F1's flying over and just dropping a few.
But they also have the in the Fallout universe, and you do get to see someone brought it up today on an Easter egg thing I saw on TikTok. A really brief second, you get to see a mini nuke, which is launched from a Fat Boy launcher or a mini nuke launcher. Yeah. So in the when they visit Philly and they're going to the supply store, when the ghoul walks in after the big shootout and everything else, in one of the glass cabinets, there's actually standing a little mini nuke, and it's like, and I missed that until someone pointed it out today. I was like, oh my God, yes, that's what we wanted to see. But there were so many things I wanted to see in this. I did want to see a Deathclaw. I did. I really did. Yeah. But we only but you haven't seen the last episode. You do get to see a skull. That's it. That's all you get to see.
Oh, okay. But I haven't watched the last episode, so I do apologize.
The last episode's amazing.
I've done what I like to call it, Jordan. But you tell him to watch something, and he watches like 3/4 of it, or watches the first episode, and goes, "Yeah, I can talk about this."
I standardly watch 2. Listen, my line is 2 episodes minimum. All right, if you haven't got me at 2 episodes, you haven't got me. This show got me. Okay, Episode 1 had me hungry because the way they did it was just genius. I like the 3-story arc of it. So you've got Lucy, and in fact, someone brought this up. A good point was it's kind of like like each character had a monkey paw wish. A standard monkey paw wish. So Lucy obviously wanted to leave the vault, find her father, and keep her morals intact.
Yes.
She does all three, but doesn't keep her morals intact. The ghoul wanted to not be part of the Hollywood bullshit anymore and just wanted to be a cowboy again. Yes, he became that.
Technically, yes.
Yes, technically. And then Maximus just wanted to become. He wanted to become a knight. He wanted to become a knight of the Brotherhood of Steel, which he pretty much does. But of course, he's lost his armor because. He loses his armor.
I got the bit where they took his armor and they've taken it into the base. And then he was going to try to steal the nuclear fusion to.
Oh no! Wait, at the end episode, it gets stolen, and you'll see why. It's really cool. It's cool how it gets stolen. But anyway, the overall, it's a really good way to tell the stories. My only issue was between episode 5 and 7.
He's like the dragon wasn't big enough.
No, between episode 5 and 7, the story just felt a bit dragged out a little bit too much for me.
Yeah,
it was a bit. Oh god, come on. It's like the first 5 episodes like slap back to back to back, and then it's like, right, we need to give some filler information out. No, you sprinkle that all the way through, and then we all go, oh yeah, do you remember in episode 2? Oh, in episode 3 was this, and you piece it all together at the end. Fabulous. You don't put it in 2 episodes worth. It's like, it was just...
Yeah, and I did notice that. It did seem like, because I remember talking to you about it, and you're like, I'm up to episode 7. I've just finished episode 7. Holy crap, it dragged. And I must say, I think I got halfway through episode 7. I went back to it, and then I watched another 10 minutes of it, and I'm just like, no, I'm going to bed. I mean, normally I can just go, I'll just watch it. But it did seem to drag a bit, and I do think you're right. The last kind of couple of episodes did seem to be like,
it does.
Oh, you want us to do 6 episodes, and then they went, actually, can you do 8? Oh yeah. And then they just kind of filled it out a bit. But overall, I do think that there was a lot of information. There was a few little nice touches in there that were done well. But yeah, I do understand what you're saying. Those last few episodes were just like horrific.
Yeah, the last one makes up for the other 2. That's the only thing I will say. It does. It does. I understand though that from a person who, if you've never been involved in a Fallout universe through no game or anything else, you need those 2 episodes ever so slightly, because you do.
Yes.
But the problem is if you've played one Fallout game, just any one Fallout game, you could have played Fallout 1 or 2, and you've never been back to the franchise since. You get as much information out of any single one game than you do of those last 2 episodes. Those 2 episodes really don't interest anyone who has knowledge of the universe per se. But I understand the purpose of it. I get it. I just don't agree with them putting it, you know what we'll do? We'll stick it in halfway through each of these episodes.
Yeah, I didn't think it needed to be halfway through. I think they could have done a few of those throughout, where you just had like a slow 10 minutes throughout a couple of episodes, rather than having it all at once. But
agreed. I think a quick flashback on everything would have worked just as well. But that's me. That's mini rant. That's my little mini rant.
I do think, so for example, Cherish watched this, which was the weirdest thing. So she seems to be getting really into all this stuff, which freaked me out because it's just weird. She shouldn't like this stuff. But she watched it and said that she really enjoyed it and stuff like that. And she actually really followed it. So coming from somebody that has never played it, has no idea of the world and stuff, found it to be a lot of fun. And when I told her about the last few episodes, she's like, no, that tied a lot of stuff together.
Yes.
And I'm like...
I think
I guess it's one of those...
Yeah. I think 6 and 7 are basically there to get the non-players towards the finish line at the same time that the experienced vets are going, why are they reiterating this? This is common knowledge. This is everybody knows this.
But I think it was good. Like after hearing her say that, I'm like, that makes a lot more sense now. And it does seem to be like, okay, I understand that if you've watched it as we have, it would be 10 shades of pointless.
Yeah, no.
But
okay,
it does seem to add a lot to it, and it does seem to really tie a lot of things in. But I guess it's hard too, because for anybody that's really, really into Marvel, I'm sure there were things that were happening in Marvel where they're just like, oh my god, no shit, we already know this.
No.
So
Oh yeah, there's always these little things in the background that always occur, and it's like, oh no, this doesn't make any sense. Like, oh dude, have you never read Comic Thing? God,
Yeah.
hello. You know?
But I guess in the movies, because it happens in like a 3 hour or however long it is, you have a slow 20 minutes.
Yep.
Where in a TV series, when the episodes are 20 minutes, if you have a slow 20 minutes, it's a whole episode.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
Yeah.
you're like, "Ugh." But I understand it. I do get it. And now I'm a bit more mindful of it too. And I'm like, it's good though, because if it does help non-people get into this, because that's what a lot of people don't realize, that if say, for example, only the Fallout fans watch this, there's a very big chance we're not getting renewed.
Oh yeah,
Like straight
agreed.
up.
Oh great. Oh no. Is there
So
a
it
big
is
enough
good to
fan?
have
There
that in
isn't
there.
a big enough fandom to renew a TV show just with like the niche game sort of thing. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, it would never work. The fact is that it has to be seen by the loyal diehard fans and go, oh yes, absolutely correct. Number one, dan. Tick,
Yeah.
tick, 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 tick. That's what you want. Not only that, but the fact is you have to have non-players go, oh, this looks interesting. Oh, this looks really good. And it's hilarious how the Fallout, it's the one thing, there was a stat that came out today, or it was like yesterday or whatever. Apparently Fallout 4 subscriptions, returning players has gone up by like 85%.
That doesn't surprise me
So,
at
like,
all, to
yeah.
be fair.
Oh no.
Because I mean, it's one of those things where you do get into it and you do go like, oh my god, this is awesome, kind of thing.
Oh,
and
I
you,
haven't played Fallout in years.
and it reminds, yeah, I haven't played Fallout in years, but to be fair, I was like, I'll play it again. Like, I should really bring out the Xbox and play it again. But I think it's good, and I think for things like this, they seem to be now doing it right, and not just doing it right, but being like, let's involve the people that made the game that understand the lore as well, and maybe because
Go on. I've got a question.
just because I found with obviously One Piece and things like that, they have really kept very true to the things and been dragged back when things are getting a bit too, like when they try to Hollywood it, or they try to be like, oh, you know, it'd be really cool if this happened. It's like, no, that's not what people know.
Yeah, I think what happened with this, and I think it's the same thing with One Piece and every other bit of IP that's been getting bought up recently.
Yeah.
Is the studio, the creators have had in a clause in saying that they get final sign off or write off, because
Which I think is perfect.
which is good, because the fact is that the Bethesda realized, saying, right, fine, they're going to make a fault because they wanted to make something, because obviously they're looking for new ground and all that jazz. And to be fair, Fallout is quite a diverse. You could have started it in any place in the United States, and it would have worked, sort of thing. But the fact is that you've got to have that background and story, and Fallout has a really good story behind it.
Yeah.
The fact that this is canonized a lot of events, and they set it's in future of wherever any of the games are, which is really cool as well. So, you know, so eventually you have this thing where they could mention something from Fallout 4, you know, because it was technically, in terms of game time, it's 20 years previously and all this stuff. So it's like, ooh, that's cool. So there's all that sort of cool things that could happen down the line. But I think it was really good that Bethesda sort of said, look, you know, it's like, as I said earlier, you know, the fact is that the writers of the show wanted to mention, I think they wanted to mention San Francisco or something like that, I think it was. And then they were told, no, you're not allowed to, because there's something coming up and we can't have that. Oh, okay. So they had to change it to somewhere else. But it was like, oh, okay. So why can't we have San Francisco? Obviously, some people are like, hang on a minute. Why can't we have San Francisco? What's happening in San Francisco? Yeah. You know?
And it's good. And I think that because of that as well, that we do seem to be having a lot more stuff that I feel like we're going to get future games as well. And this success is only just going to, like, obviously hype that. I'm like, this is amazing, and I'm really excited for that. And I must say, and I think with a lot of these, they are really just pushing that envelope so well, where it's giving us everything that we wanted in a series, forgetting all the original series and just being true to it. And if that's because they have to get the final sign off from the thingos, I'm like, even better, because we were definitely missing stuff in our last few ones.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember her name. So one thing that I found quite cool, actually. So Ella Purnell, who plays Lucy, when she got cast for the role, it wasn't a requirement that any of the actors apparently had to play the games or any of the games.
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't a requirement, wasn't expected of him, but Ella was like, you know what, I'm playing a main character, I should probably have a rough idea of what's
Yeah.
going on. So she played a full walkthrough of Fallout 3 and 4, which I'll tell you what, fair play. If she can find the time to squeeze that in, because that's a commitment. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
But apparently the first time that she got to try on the full vault suit, full soul suit, and she got to put a Pip-Boy on, apparently she was giddy, apparently. And I was like, cool.
Well, that's the thing though. Like, if you've got this lore behind you, whether it be a game, a movie, a book, go back and read it because it's only going to make you enjoy it more. It's going to make you love the project even more. And I must say though, like I would say, if she had knocked out 10 or 12 hours of Fallout, I'd have been like, good job, girl.
Good job.
The fact that she went through both of them, I'm like, that's insane. Like,
Absolutely. But it was the same. The same question was asked of Walter Goggins, who plays Howard Cooper, aka the Ghoul, and he said that he actually said, "No, I'm not going to, because I feel like there needs to be a level head at the table." Because a lot of people, because he's a bit older anyway, and he's like, I have a lot of people who play video games at the table, and I feel like that it's good to have that. Would this actually make sense to the average person? And I actually thought to myself, because at first I was like, how can you not? But then actually, when he explained it that way, I was actually like, oh, actually, no, it's good to have that random voice of reason who goes, because if they wanted, because let's be honest, if they stuck a Deathclaw in the show, if they were to stuck a Deathclaw in the show, would it have made everyone who knows the show go, yes? But would, to the average person, understand what the concept of a Deathclaw is? No.
Yeah.
The fact
what I did like though is they did bring in mutated animals.
Yes,
so you kind of understand that these things could progress.
Yes, so we got to see the rad roaches, which are everywhere, and dear lord, you got to see that. You got to see Bromans, the cows that give us pretty much loads of things, and then Brahmins, not Bromans, and then we got to see a lurker, which was interesting. I mean. We did one very quick snip. We get to see a super mutant. Well, sorry, you get to see a hand of a super mutant. So when
I thought he came out when he opens it.
No,
came out of that.
No. Who is it? Michael Emerson's character, Siggy Wiltzig, Dr. Wiltzig. When he I think he's walking across to his lab with. I think they call it CX404, but dog meat. Let's call it dog meat because all the dogs are dog meat. He's carrying puppy dog meat to his lab. There's a person, a porter transporting a body on a gurney.
Oh yeah.
And it's all covered up fully apart from one hand, which is rather large and slightly greenish tinge.
Yes,
so everyone's gone, that's a super mutant. That's a super mutant. Everyone's freaked out and gone, yes.
I missed that bit actually.
Because everybody, so I missed it as well. As when someone pointed out on an Easter egg thing, I was like, oh my god, how did I not notice that? But then again, I was looking at baby dog meat.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Baby dog meat.
That scene was brutal. Where like they're weighing him and it's like 10 kilos. I was like, oh damn, son. Like that is brutal. And it's like, because when it said incinerate bodies, I was like, oh okay, yeah, I guess they'd have to, once things dies, they have to do that. And then when you find out that it's puppies, you're like, that's fucked up.
Yeah, absolutely. But it is, the way that I mean. The fact is, because obviously in the Fallout universe, you don't see very rare other dog breeds apart from German Shepherds, because obviously they've been bred for their high intelligence and everything else they can do, and blah blah blah. And also they're slightly genetically modified in this universe as well to be extra intelligent. But there were so many good things. There were absolutely so many good things.
There were a lot of great little touches, I must say. And as you said, all the little Easter eggs where they've left stuff around just to. Get you to have a look at it and stuff. You're like,
yeah, I mean, can we just, for props on looking at it, right? The power armor, spot on, absolutely spot on. Thank you, Bethesda.
100%.
I guarantee you, whoever was working in the props department, either A, had Bethesda there for every single thing that they were making, or B, that person actually plays the games, because things like. It was like things like, oh, do you want iguana or a stick?
You're telling me you don't have a nerd making costumes like this for a game like this, and he has it, and he's not a gamer or something.
Oh, you know what I mean, though? It's just like some of it, like the fact, like you looked at the power armor, just the power armor alone. Oh,
yeah.
oh shit, oh honest to God, there wasn't a thing wrong. You know, and the
No.
fact that you got all the battle damage and everything else, you know, the scratch, it's just like, oh, it was just so good. But
Yeah, it was insane, and I must say, and that's the thing. I think with this especially is the eye for detail was just gorgeous.
yeah, there was not a foot wrong. And I'll tell you one thing, actually, I quite like the Vault Dwellers themselves and the way that they were acting and all that shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, we've got prisoners, yay! It's just like,
Yeah, I know.
no, get rid of them. Immediately,
That's not how that
I was in
works.
game mode and I was like, no, you get rid of the prisoners because they're eating your food. And it's like, get rid of them.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I'm not that excited, guys. Like,
It was so funny. Just some of the politicking that was occurring and all that jazz. It was so many good things. I loved that Codsworth. You know, Codsworth was in it, and the voice actor, I forget his name now. What's his name? He's a British guy from
I'm not gonna remember.
from The Office, from the original Office TV show. He's a comedian as well.
Oh,
He's really funny, and I forgot his.
it's not
goddamn
Merchant,
name.
is it?
Oh no, it's not Steve Merchant. No.
Oh, I was gonna say
No.
that's the only one I remember from. I don't even know if he was in The Office.
But Matt Berry. He's Mr. Handy in this, but essentially he's Codsworth, and he was portrayed in the video. You know, he's his same voice. Hello, sir. You know, it's that typical,
that's right.
typical
Yes, I know
butler
him.
voice that's British.
If you had that from the IT crowd, I would have been like, yes, the dude from the IT crowd.
Dude from the IT crowd, but yeah, he was so
He
good.
was brilliant.
And I like how that obviously you get introduced to him because he's hired by Robotech to do the
so,
voice, and he got a Mr. Handy thrown in as part of the package.
That bit was really funny, where it was just like this little throwaway line, but it just works so well. Where it's like, yes, every time I get home, I get greeted by myself. And it's like I walk in and it's like, hello, sir, in my own voice. I'm like, yeah, it's just ridiculous.
It's also just funny to think that you find out that the Walter Goggins, obviously the cowboy and all this jazz, that he is the Pit Boy. Essentially, he's cartoonized.
That's the only thing that I wish that they had done, is just made him a little bit more blonde.
Oh no! You see, what I wanted, right? And it's a really, really picky thing. The fact that we saw a Pit Boy, right? Okay, we see a Pit Boy. It's in the first.
We see 100 Pit Boys.
You see 100 Pit Boy, but you don't see the variants that you pick up in the game, like, you know, the sneak attack one and all this.
Oh, yeah,
I was just like, could we not just have said that there was a collector's set? And so, you know what I mean? It was kind of like just a random. You could have had just the bog standard Pit Boy on a stand, and it's like one of 20 or however many Pit Boys there are, but you just have that, and it was just like, oh, thank you. That would have suited me just fine. I would have been happy just with that.
I think it would have been good in the general store, but even then, though, you can see that they're pretty rare, and obviously they're on Vault Hunters.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing if we go visit another Vault, they may have those ones.
Yeah, which would have been good. But yeah.
Yeah. But I think it does. Like, I mean, I don't think it leaves much on the table. I think there's a lot left on the table that it can really sink its teeth into and continue to move forward. But then I also think, though, that it did give us enough to make us very, very happy as well.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. But it seems like I've been doing the most of the talking. I want to hear this rant. I want to hear your rant. Go on.
Oh no, the rant has nothing to do with Fallout.
Oh, it doesn't have anything to do with Fallout. What's the rant have to
has
do?
everything to do with the TikTok you sent me.
Which one? I sent you so many. Which one?
A trailer for something that's going to ruin our childhood.
Oh God, hang on. Which one?
So Jordan sent us. So for everybody listening, while Jordan looks, Jordan sent me the trailer for the new Transformers movie.
Oh God! All right. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
So just to give everybody the idea, as of today, I believe it's as of the 15th of May. That is 40 years since Gen 1, the 1984 animated series first started. So you're like, yes, this is amazing. They're actually, so for anybody in Australia, I think it's also happening over in America as well, but there's actually a special event.
Okay.
Where they're actually doing a 40-year viewing of it. And what it is and it's going to show the footage, and it's this exclusive table read by Peter Well and Frank Welker and a few of the other ones.
Nelson Wells.
And I'm like praying to the sweet baby Jeebus that I get an invite to this VIP one. But it is happening.
Do you need a cameraman? I know you need a cameraman, Des.
I do for this one, 100% I do. So like you're already like really excited, going, oh my God, yes. And then they bring out this animated one called Transformers 1, which is fucked, shall we say. I don't know the right word to say. We've got Chris Hemsworth in there. You've got Lawrence Fishburne. You've got Steve Buscemi. You've got Scarlett Johansson, John Hamm. You've got all these fucking random people doing the voices. So Peter Welland's no longer doing the thing. You seem to have these two, like, it honestly feels like the start of Red Dwarf, where you've got these two weird, nerdy kind of guys that have these big dreams of being something, but instead they're going to be thrown into, like, cleaning or just disposal or something. But they're best friends. So you got Megatron and Optimus Prime that are literally just best friends mucking around and just being that. Then, obviously, when they get thrown into this cleaning thing, you have Bumblebee. And I'm like, the fuck? Because in it, the whole reason why Bumblebee and Spike, the little kid from Gen 1, the reason why they get on so well is because they're kind of the same. Where everybody else is adults, they're kind of like teenagers or kids. And now somehow, Bumblebee's like a little bit older or the same age as them and running a division. I'm like, what the fuck? And don't get me wrong, like, I've watched the trailer, and the trailer's a bit of fun. If it was just other Transformers, why the freaking hell did you have to take the most well-known Transformers and give him the world's dodgiest law ever? Like, it is so disappointing. And I'm like, it sucks so bad. I'm like, nah. Like, it just is weird. And then watching them work together, watching them muck around and kind of play fight, watching one of them have kind of this semi-Australian accent with Chris Hemsworth, I'm like, how do they go from these little freaking, like, 12-year-olds into these badasses that they are? It just feels weird. And I know they're trying to get people in, and Hasbro's trying to make money to bring these people in, but it is 10 shades of horrific.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna. Can I rebuttal? Can I rebuttal?
It fucked me off so much.
I'm gonna rebuttal. I'm gonna rebuttal. Okay. One, I think you're wrong. I think that what this is going to do, this is going to reinvigorate the franchise. It's going to put another spin on it and everything else. And I'm speaking complete bullshit because it is fucking wrong. What it is, right? Okay. This is not. I'll say this quite frankly right now because I am a massive Transformers fan. Okay. Gen 1 all the way. Gen 1. Gen 2 went off the rails, quite frankly. Still, Gen 1 all the way. Seriously. The fact is that D116, right? Okay, I haven't read all the Transformers comics. Maybe Megatron was known as D16 before he was reformed and became Megatron. Yeah. But the lore is that Megatron is part of the Decepticon race was gladiators. They fought in the rings and everything else. He became champion and basically brought people to his cause. He then overthrew the planet, which was run by Autobots at the time, but they were old school Autobots. They weren't the benevolent kind of people at the time, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But then again, you got the Quintessons and everything else, which is also confusing, but we're not going to get into that. Still, as part of that entire takeover, he befriends Orion Pax, who then betrays him. As part of the deal, Orion Pax gets remolded into Optimus Prime to take on Megatron to fight on the Autobot side. And then chaos ensues from there. Then we have the entire Gen 1 arc, and it is fantastic. Why on earth? And I'm seriously, right, Josh Cooley, you, director of this movie, right? Why on earth do you think I want a buddy cop movie with Optimus Prime and Megatron before they become...
100%.
It doesn't make any sense. I understand that, like, in some of the TV shows and everything else, it shows that there is a camaraderie, a brotherhood, because Optimus understood that the old way of the Autobots was bad and everything else, and they shouldn't be oppressive. And it's, as the famous saying goes, till all are one, right? Get that. But I don't want, and I really don't want, a buddy cop movie of two of the most badass characters to ever fight. My favourite fight scene to this day is not Rocky. It is the original Transformers movie where Optimus Prime and Megatron fight, and I'm pretty sure I know it word for word. I've watched it that often. Why? Why do you portray us
of just like horrific? And I'm just like watching it. I'm like, it's a lot of fun. And had this been new Transformers coming up, had this been anything, but it's just kind of like I think there's a massive reason why Peter Welland's like, yeah, I'm going to retire, because he probably saw this script and went, no.
This is the other thing, right? Okay, I understand, right, that you can't. He can't perform. Like some people, obviously, you can perform. You can voice actor. Your voice ages at some point. At some point, you've got to get out of the game. Okay, completely fine. Whereas there are certain people who've said, "Listen, I am going to allow AI to, they've sold their rights and allows AI to recreate their voice so it can be used and all that." Again, completely fine. If that's what you want to do, great, fabulous. The fact is that Peter McCullough is my Optimus Prime. He always will be. He does it spot on. And I mean spot on. It's like, to be fair, I mean, I'll be honest, right? No one has done a Unicron voice correct, because Orson Welles is in my head and he will never leave. Yes. He is Unicron.
And it is just so frustrating, because I'm like, if you're going to do this as well, why not get... Okay, so if you've got these secondary characters that you want to get, like the Scarlett Johanssons and these people, give some big names in, but why not bring in somebody that can become the new Optimus Prime? Like, there's a guy on Fiverr that you can pay him, and he does like 15 different voices, and one of them happens to be Optimus Prime. I'm like, why not just get somebody to recreate or to do the same style of voice? Where this one, it just kind of sounds like... it sounds like Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, I don't get me wrong, and I get it. No, the fact is that technically, obviously, these are both start-out characters, and that they are going to change eventually. Down the line, they have to change, and they change into Optimus. So therefore, you can recast them. That's completely fine. I'm fine with that. But obviously, you got Keegan-Michael Key, from Key and Peele. He is playing B127, which, quite frankly, why insult us and call him B127? We all know who he is. Yeah. We all know who he is. Don't try and insinuate to anyone else. Obviously, Elita 1, I'm fine with, because Elita 1 is from Gen 1. It is. Although someone the other day, I did see a TikTok saying, "Oh, why are they bringing in a female Transformer? It's just Monday." It's like, there's always been female Transformers.
I was going to say, remember the movie? The movie, that was where she was introduced.
Well, no. RC was introduced in the movie. But sorry. In the TV show, I think it's even before the movie, there's a time travel episode, and you get to go meet her. And he meets Elita 1, who basically you find out Elita 1 is Optimus's chick and everything else, which
she's in the trailer. She's an absolute badass. So I'm okay with that.
Oh, she is. Like, no, she's like leader of the resistance on.
Yeah, because I thought she was the RCX like style character in this, but I didn't realize about the other thing.
Yeah.
But yes, I do remember the time travel one now that you say that.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if robots go through puberty and their voice randomly deepens and gets more commanding.
Yeah, no, the way in the Transformers universe it works is you can be damaged, but you can go through a process which is called reformatting. I think it's called reformatting, and where they take you, but you are no longer going to be the person that you were, but you can be stronger, you can be better, you can be, you can do all that, but your personality may not survive.
Yeah.
Because like Optimus Prime remembers that he was Orion Pax, but of course he is a leader and strong and everything else, so it doesn't work.
Well, that's the thing though, but he doesn't seem like that in this. He seems like a 12-year-old kid that's just being like...
Oh yeah, no, in this movie I don't like it just for that reason. I mean, don't get me wrong, I already know if my kid's going to see this trailer and he's going to be like, "Dude, let's go watch it." I'm like, "No, let's not. Let's watch the original instead."
It's like Eddie, I love you dearly, but no.
And then he's going to go, "Dad, we've already watched that movie about 4 times this year." It's like, it doesn't matter, son. It doesn't matter. It's still a classic.
That's the whole point of it. But yeah, but not only to do it then, but also to do it on the 40 year of this. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
I am. Don't get me wrong. I mean, to be fair, Brian Tyree Henry is the voice of, pre-Megatron, and actually I'm not disappointed by his voice. I quite like it.
He's probably the closest that I would be like, okay, I don't mind that. But what I find weird too though is B turns into this weird futuristic car, obviously, and they haven't been to Earth at this stage. Somehow Optimus Prime turns into a friggin' Mack truck.
Yeah, no,
The
I've,
leader one just turns into a random motorcycle that you're like, really? Like,
yeah, no, I do have problems with the vehicle forms, but that's me being me. That's
but
because
like it just seems
I've watched a
weird.
lot of Transformers throughout the years, and I've seen pre Earthbound vehicles, and they look really sick. In fact, all
Yeah.
they had to do was copy the vehicle forms from what was that old game? It was on the Xbox, and I got it. It was a Transformers game, and it was absolutely sick. And they ended up having a DLC where you could play the Dinobots, but it completely
Oh,
messed with their lore, and I was really unhappy about that because it turns out who is it? Shockwave was messing with Cybertronian DNA, and basically you
that's
unlock the
cool.
primal mode, and it's like, oh no, no, no! The design of
That's not
Earth
how that works.
dinosaurs. It doesn't make sense that
Yeah, I don't know.
Cybertron would
Like
have
this whole thing
dinosaurs.
frustrates me, and I'm
Yeah,
like we've had all these really good reboots, and now you're doing this. I'm like,
yeah. But anyway, so anyway, all right,
and
rant.
and what's weird too though is B's a coward in this. Have you seen how many times he runs away until he figures out he has knife hands?
Yeah,
But in it,
no,
every time he sees
yeah.
something, he kind of runs away, and I'm like, so you've got these three characters. One's the leader of the Resistance, obviously head of the Autobots, head of the Decepticons,
Mm-hmm.
and then you've got this teenage kid that somehow
Well,
is still teenage when he's in Earth, and it just
Well, what's really funny about it is if you think about it, so they've already named it Elita One, so technically her character never changes or reformat or whatever we call it.
yeah.
Orion Pax is going to get reformatted. D16 is going to get reformatted into Megatron. B127 technically should get reformatted to be to be Bumblebee, but it doesn't. Anyway. But anyway, rant over. I think we need to go back to Fallout because
Yes, but this is disgusting.
this is not ladies. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is a future episode. This isn't over. We are not pleased. We are not happy.
At one, like it sounds bad. Like part of me wants to watch it so we can shit on it when it comes out in the future.
Yes.
But then every part of me doesn't want to watch it.
I,
Like,
I feel like that this might be one of those times that we both agree that we're not going to fork out money to go to the cinema to watch this movie.
No.
It's
No.
in solidarity. We refuse. We refuse.
no, this
We're
is
not
this
doing.
is 10 Shades of horrific. I'm like,
Yes,
I ain't touching
absolutely
this.
not. But yeah, but I would be interested to see what the story, because from that trailer you don't get any storyline apart from they're getting hunted by who.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks almost like there's a Quintessons are involved, but I don't know. But anyway, so
Yeah.
by the by, we're gonna come back to this rant, ladies and
Because
gentlemen.
all it really says though is the untold origin story between Optimus Prime and Megatron, better known as sworn enemies, but once they were friends, bonded like brothers who challenged the fate of Cybertron forever.
The untold story, my fucking ass. All right, anyway,
Yeah.
back to it. Right, back to it. Right, Fallout. So, thoughts and feelings on Fallout.
I really enjoyed it. I haven't watched the last episode, and I plan on doing that tonight.
I guarantee you're gonna watch it tonight, and you're gonna go, "Oh my god, it's so good!" Arena. Just literally, you could actually literally skip all the way to like the last 20 minutes. It's so good. It's so sweet.
That's it. Oh, okay.
But it's like literally, it's like a big bow on top, and it's just like, oh yes. And the fact that they hint at a season 2, which, as you sent me the other day, that they've already announced, yeah, we're gonna do season 2. I'm like, yes.
Which is great.
And
And I think it's good. I think we are starting to get a little bit more speed on when it comes to because the worst thing about like the Netflix and that is it takes you years to figure out whether you're getting a sequel, and then normally when you figure out you're getting a sequel, it's out 2 months later. You're like, why not lead up to it? Like, do we know nothing about marketing to lead up?
A bit of hype, a bit of build up, and stuff like that. To be fair, funnily enough, I thought about this the other day randomly, and I want to tweet. I actually thought about tweeting it, and this is how random it is, because there's a new Alien movie coming out. It was the Alien Remus or Romulus. It's Remus
Romulus.
Whatever it is. And I kind of thought to myself, wouldn't it be cool if there was a bit of hype tie-in marketing with Helldivers? Like suddenly
cool.
on one of the fringe, like nowhere near the Terminated area, say on the opposite side of the
spot.
and it's like, there's a random couple mission for a couple of like a month, if that, and it's like a live event and everything else, and then suddenly there's an outbreak of this weird alien species is showing up, and you can have it.
You know what would be even cooler? All of a sudden, this inhabited village in the middle of nowhere, that was
Or you
inhabited,
find
was
eggs.
infested,
Yeah.
was all of a sudden just gone, and it was
Yeah.
just emptied out, and you're like, why is that? And then you send some hell divers there to kind of find it, and it's like, it's just some eggs.
Yeah, because I thought about that and I thought that would be really cool. But then my brain obviously went on a tangent. I thought, oh, imagine there's a mission where you're being stalked by a predator. And I was like, oh, and I was like, yes, please. You've got to go through. You've got to do some actions, but you keep getting like random ping signals that something is tracking you. And I was like, yes. Please.
That would actually suck so bad if you were like to play that. You'd be like, no.
Oh no, you would. But the fact is, because the amount of times that, like, especially because now I'm not a super confident player, but I'm playing like a level 6. So there's 9 levels, right? Suicide is level 7, okay, and that's where you can find the super sample. So I'm actually actively playing on that level now, and you're getting into a bit of routine. We're doing this mission, it's doing this, so you kind of know. Sometimes, like yesterday, because Ellie was out for the night and I was playing some missions, I was playing with a bunch of guys on mic. It was good fun, and they said, "Oh, we're going to kick it up to 8. Does anyone object?" And I went, "No, actually, no. I haven't played on level 8 for a while. Let's try." Because we stormed through 7. It was like we're playing on easy mode. It was so good. Kicked it on to 8 and deal what?
Yeah.
There was one point.
I'm not like how that felt.
Honest to God, right? We're doing a sub objective, right? Suddenly there's 4 Bile Titans and 3 charges, and they're coming, and we're all trying to take them out. And then I'm like, and I'm trying to run away while getting to recharge my big laser cannon so I can try and deal with stuff. Suddenly, all 4 Titans turn in one direction. Guess which direction they are turning?
Captain Reload over here.
Me! I'm like, right, for some reason they're following me. I'm just going to kind of scoot away a little bit. And they went, yes, brother, you keep doing that. We circle back around and we'll try and help out. We'll mop up and we'll complete the objective. And they were doing that while all 4 Titans and the Chargers were chasing me down. I'm like, what have I done?
I guess you're the only person who can probably really hurt them, so...
I don't know what it was. It was literally like Joel. I hate you, Joel. Joel had gone, Jordan's getting a bit confident. Yeah, we need to adjust that. Just aim, so let's just twist that.
It's like who's this cocky git with the New Zealand IP? It's just like,
I kid you not. The fact is that I started moving away as I'm looking behind me, so I can see what's about to occur, so I can change my gun or do whatever or drop a stratagem. And then suddenly, when all 4 Titans turned, I'm like, oh hell no! Whoa, what have I done? I didn't do nothing. I didn't do
nothing. I was even shooting at you right then. Like, you can't even tell me I was shooting at you. And
what's
all
the
of a sudden,
thing?
like...
I hadn't shot. I just shot and killed a charger that was literally on me, and I'm like, literally, it was like 2 meters away, and it's like they went, "Oh, he's the threat." I was like, "Bullshit! I'm the threat. Why am I the threat? Bullshit! I am not the threat." But the fact I took one for the
randomo that hit one random charger. Yeah, he's definitely the threat. Let's get him.
It was just funny because then I ended up going through a pass, and the Titans couldn't get through, so they all stood there, and I'm like, while I'm shooting at you in the face, I'm gonna keep walking away because I'm not dealing with this.
Just in case they're able to get through. Finally.
Yeah, and I was just like, but then suddenly I was like, and then suddenly I got round a thing, and then there was nothing, and I'm like, all right, I don't know what's happened, boys. And they went, why? And I kind of got through a pass, and there was 3 Titans left, no charges, but I don't know where they've gone. And they went on. Why? And I was like, what? I went through a pass. I was running away. Leave me alone. And they went, you were running away. And I went, no. I was retreating to a strategic location to shoot in face.
Oh, God.
and then
so what happened? So where did they go?
Oh, I circled back and the objective had just got complete. And they went, any sign? I went, no sign. And then literally out of the mist, one came and I was like, I think I've spotted where they are. And then they were like, oh, crud. And suddenly it was all hell broke loose and we're all running away, all retreating while trying to shoot them in the face. It was funny as, honest to God. But I kind of thought to myself, oh, how cool would it be to have a tie-in with, like, because you kind of want to start having tie-in with franchises at some point.
Well, so many people do that. Like, I know the biggest one that I know that seems to get tie-ins like every 6 days is World of Tanks. Like, I get so many emails from World of Tanks where Video Jones is taking over, where they've done like an Australia-New Zealand one where UFC is randomly taken over, and I'm like, oh my God! Like,
same with Fortnite, isn't it? God, it drives me up the wall.
But like, I'm all for a tasteful or something that fits. But I do feel like sometimes people are just like, oh, we'll just pay heaps of money and get tied into this game so that people can go like, wow.
But
Because it does
it was
feel weird.
it was funny though, because literally as I thought that, like today, I think it was literally about 5 minutes before we started recording, I got a bip on whatever. Oh, I think it was on Facebook, because I'm part of one of the Helldivers dad groups, and they'd someone had proposed via Twitter saying, "Have you ever thought about doing a Star Wars tie-in?" Which I thought, actually, you know what, that'd be interesting. But they said, look, while apparently Arrowhead responded saying, look, while a Star Wars tie-in would look cool, we would find it hard to justify putting. I mean, we could maybe put melee weapons in, but can we put a lightsaber in? It kind of doesn't make sense for the technology. And you know what? I fully agree.
Can you imagine just this Titan with a lightsaber that just goes shoof, and just removes like 3/4 of the board? You're like,
Yeah,
that dude could probably cut a planet in half. Like,
it was kind of one of those things. I kind of thought to myself, yes, having a lightsaber would be cool, but would it make sense to be able to waltz up with a lightsaber against a Titan or a Charger? It's like, nah, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. So, but I kind of thought
they've got games like that. So there's stuff like, as much as I would love to see Star Wars in, because it's kind of cool, but there's so many like that already. Like the Star Wars already had that game where you could run around and do the same thing. So I'm like, yeah. I mean, I would love. I would, to be fair, I wouldn't mind seeing a Starship Troopers one. That'd just be funny.
That would be tempting, but that's a little bit too on the nose, I think. But
100%.
But I think certainly something with the Predator Alien franchise could be very, very funny down the line. Yeah. Realistic. Oh, it could be, couldn't it? Can you imagine it? Just suddenly there's little alien, like a month-long alien outbreak, and then if we do all these special missions, you unlock a weird cape. Just a cape. Doesn't have to have any perks. None of that nonsense. Literally just a cape. I've logged on. I did these missions. I got this cape, and it's like, yeah, that's my cape.
Or it gave you like a nickname, or you could do something.
Yeah,
or
you could have.
Or it gave you like a little
title,
logo on your armor or something.
It could have something like that, and honest to God, people would I guarantee you, people log in for them just to try and. Just literally, all you have to do is give you a cape. Hell, we got a random cape because we freed a planet that was unfreeable for since the game launched, and they said, "Well done, boys. We're gonna give you a cape." And people are like, "Yes, I got a cape."
Hey guys, check this out. I was there back in the day.
It was just mental that people lost their minds over getting a cape, and I thought to myself, "Oh, Jesus, we're all a bunch of psychos in this game." When we get excited, it's not like capes give you anything apart from a look. That's it. That's all the cape does. But yeah.
So this cape gives me a +1 for coolness.
Oh God!
Like, so what does it do in game? Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely fuck all. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say a big thank you. So before that, Fallout, I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. I think even if you're not into video games, the dystopian future of this TV show is really good. I've actually said
the idea behind it's quite clever, and I do think even if it wasn't a video game and this was just a series, I do think this would be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I think it explains a lot of things really well, such as like the radio, like why it is a bit confusing with the timeline thing, because there's a bit of a disjoint between Maximus's character and Lucy's character, because they have two separate timelines going in mind, but then you find out at the very end of why, and it's really cool. But the fact is, you see about the ghouls and why they are the way, because of course there's ghouls and there's feral ghouls, and there's a big difference between the two, and you find out the reason why that works as well in the show, and that's really cool. But you get a lot of little tidbits. The fact is, I actually said to Elle, because of course it's been advertised everywhere, and I said to Elle that I think she would quite enjoy it, sort of thing. So I might see if she wants to watch it and go from there as well. The look of it is really good. Even if you're not into the lot, I think even if you're not into the video games, it looks really sweet. And
I think that's the thing.
And the unsung hero is the music. Oh my God, the music is so good. I can't stop singing "The World on Fire" around my house. I don't want to set the world on fire. I can't help it.
It's a lot of fun, but it does have that thing. It reminds me of this series. I know we're going a little bit long, but it reminds me of this series. Oh, why is it just slipped my mind? There's this series, and it's pretty much about this infection that gets in. I can't remember the name off the top of my head now. It's going to do my head in. But when you see all these gruesome things happen, and then it cuts to the to the actual title screen. And it's just like this cool, cute, like little elevator music that makes it sound really light. But it has that music that plays throughout and all these weird scenes, like after like something drastic has happened. And you're like, what the hell? And it just reminds me, I'm like, oh, what is that actually called?
But yeah,
It's going to come to me.
it will come to you. It'll come to you the second we stop. That's what's going to happen.
Oh, 100%. 110%.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. It is a really good show. Want to say a big shout out to all our recent subscribers and followers. Please make sure you do like, follow, share, subscribe, and get us on all the algorithms and all the pages and everything else. We are available via all good podcast software. You can also see our beautiful faces on our YouTube channel as well as Spotify, and that is at Dorks Down Under or Dorks Down Under Podcast. You can also follow us on our social medias on the same links, ladies and gentlemen. So please make sure you do like, share, and follow. Thank you very much.
Amen to that.